Coming to you live from Houston, Texas. This is fantasy football, not suitable for work. I'm Maya. That's Sam. That's Bill in the Eagles gear. And we're here to talk some shit. So, who wants to go first? Sam, you want to go first with this shit talking? Where would you like to start?
You know how I like to do this. I always like to react. I want to hear what Bill's got to say. Spit it.
What do I have to say? Well, Maya, come on, brother. You're the fucking DJ here.
All right, fine.
You
I'll start off.
Topics and I'll blow it up.
I'll start. We're a little late on this one, but in case you guys didn't know, you would have been better off starting me as your fantasy quarterback than Andy Dalton week 1. I didn't think it was possible for a quarterback to score negative fantasy points, but he proved us wrong. And then after last night's game, he made history again by 2 home games without a touchdown. I heard some stat like it's been since the 1939 Eagles that have been able to do that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get off the Bengals. Andy Dalton, you fucking suck, and you're making A.J. Green suck too. Please knock that shit off. The latest in Ezekiel Elliott news, NFL's throwing their last-ditch effort to try and suspend him this year. I don't think it's going to happen. Been saying that all along. You're hoping he gets suspended? Bill?
What the? Sorry, I just got a weird thing. Yeah, I am hoping he gets suspended because A, fuck Dallas, and B, fuck Dallas. That's all there is to it. And look, let me tell you something. The guy's an asshole, okay?
Fair.
He shows his midriff. It's already I don't trust him. And then secondly, like you had that video of him fucking pulling that girl's top off. Like he just seems like a cocky motherfucker that needs to get taken back down.
Never trust the guy that shows his belly button? Is that what you're saying?
Basically. What is this, fucking 1980?
What do we got in other news? I just seen that Kenneth Dixon got 2 more games added to his suspension. Not that anybody fucking cares. And
really? They added 2 games?
Yeah, they added 2 more games. I think it's another violation of the substance abuse policy.
Oh my God.
Fucking ridiculous. Dude, quit getting high. You make millions. Quit fucking getting high. Most people get high to forget that they don't make millions. Like, you make fucking millions. Stay sober. Dumbass.
Did you see that Josh Gordon's kind of cleaning his shit up, though?
I think the ship has sailed on that clown.
Well, really? Have you not been paying attention?
Huh?
They're talking about fucking he could be reinstated as soon as next week.
Really?
Obviously, yeah, exactly. Obviously, you're not paying attention to it.
No, I haven't been paying attention. I've been fucking busy.
What have you been working 100 hours a week or something? Come on,
something like that. Something like that. This Hurricane Harvey was a fucking mess. Speaking of that, I finally ventured out and just seeing the piles of people's belongings on the side of the road that's just flooded. It's fucking sad. So props to J.J. Watt for his $34 million.
Yeah, that's
next,
awesome.
It is awesome. I can't believe it.
Let's say hi real quick. Lori's here. Olga's here.
Oh, hi, Lori. Hi, Olga.
Favorite viewers. Appreciate you guys.
Welcome.
It's still speculation, but he's basically eligible to apply again for reinstatement. He was denied back in either July or August. Sometime next week, he's going to be eligible again. So we'll see. Now, does that mean he's going to be fantasy relevant? Probably not. He hasn't played a football game since 2014. He might not even stick with Cleveland. He might, you know what I mean? He might hit free agency, and then we'll see who picks him up off waivers. I don't know, but it's something to keep an eye on because we've all seen his talent.
Oh, he has burned me so many times in fantasy, and it's been Bill. I was just thinking, so I saw the news on Josh Gordon, I think, yesterday, and I was driving home from work, and I was thinking about the time, Bill, that we were playing in the playoffs, and I had Eric Decker on the bench, and you had Josh Gordon, and we're watching it at the bar, and he scored 4 fucking touchdowns, and Eric Decker did 2, and I had him on the bench. Remember that? And you were being really cool about it. You're like, oh, it's all right. This is an outlier. You'll do fine. And we all of a sudden we get done drinking and we look over and fucking Josh Gordon snapped off that huge touchdown. I'm like, oh fuck. And you go, yeah, you know what? I think you're fucked, dude.
Yeah, he had like 260 yards and 4 TDs that game, or 2 TDs. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's right. 2 TDs. Yeah, that's fuck.
If he gets reinstated, I think the Bears are all over him. The Bears are in some dire straits.
There's definitely a market for him.
right?
I mean, if I was a team like the Bears, I'd take a flyer on him. What the hell else are you gonna do? You don't have any receivers.
True.
So let's talk about a little bit of week one, predictions that ended up coming to fruition, supposedly, and week one results that came out. Let's start with me and my brilliant tight end pick that I took in the last fucking round of the fantasy draft, and he ended up being the top receiver for the week. Now,
Off of 2 fucking receptions.
Right.
Receptions.
That's all you need.
2 targets.
Apparently.
Hey, look, I hate tight end. I've said it from the beginning. I've been consistent on that. But, you know, it's nice when they pan off. I think he's going to end up doing pretty good this season. But, you know, I want to pat myself on the back for that one. So there you go.
Speaking of tight ends, how about Hunter Henry not even getting a single fucking target?
That's weird, man.
Very weird.
Man,
I don't think it's gonna. Well, yeah. I mean, he's talented.
I think they're going to try and get Antonio Brown the record, and then he's going to ride off into the sunset, and it's the Hunter Henry show. But how long that's going to take?
Antonio Gates.
Gates.
What'd I say?
You said Brown. Antonio Brown, you fuck.
Oh, fuck. I got Antonio Brown on the brain. Super stoked he's on my roster.
Who the hell won it? Yeah, he's amazing. He's the best. I love him.
Hey, Olga brings up a good point. She says she loved watching AP's face on Monday. That was amazing. I was laughing my ass off at the memes. There was a meme of him talking about getting a switch to beat the coach. I mean, it was.
That was terrible. That was terrible. He looked like he wanted to cut him. Just shank and just gut him from bow to stern.
Yeah. You know what? You bring up a good point. Let's talk about that Monday night game. A few things I want to talk about. First, let's talk about your pickup in our big money league. Dalvin Cook, you took that rookie flyer, and he did not disappoint. He looked amazing. The O-line all of a sudden can block in Minnesota. What the fuck happened there?
Yeah, they look good. And I know where you're going to go. I know where you're going to go with that. Keep going.
You got a great rookie talent, running back, and an O-line that can block. They've got great receivers, a good defense. I mean, it's shaping up to be a good pick. What round did you take him in? Do you remember?
I don't off the top of my head.
It was like the mid rounds, right? Like 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, I do want to talk about Sam Bradford because you and I have disagreed vehemently on this point, but I always said Sam Bradford gets a bad rap. He's a good QB, super accurate, and he was taking some shots. Did you watch that game, Maya?
I watched the last half of the fourth quarter. That's all I was able to catch of it.
I just want to make this point because Sam was kind of coming back with, well, yeah, against that secondary. But if you go back and look at the tape, he was dropping some absolute dimes, like in double coverage where no one but Stephon Diggs could get it. I mean, it's just incredible. He has an absolute touch for that football. And if he gets protection this year, plus they have a run game on top of their already badass defense, that team is really set up to do some damage. Really set up to do some damage.
All right, so let me counter back on that. First of all, I'm gonna acknowledge that Sam Bradford's a pretty good quarterback. He's very talented. He's fucking injury prone constantly, and he doesn't make it. And right now, he's already got issues in his knee today. That he's swelling and shit from the game. I just, when it comes to fantasy football, that's great if a guy can have a couple of great games, but he can't keep it together for a whole season, then they're irrelevant to me. And again, I've said this before, we're in an 8-team league. I mean, if we're a 12-team league and we're in these deeper leagues where we got to pay attention to these other teams and start digging deeper and looking at these talents, I give you that. But I have the luxury of not having to avoid certain offenses because we're only an 8-team league.
Right.
So, but I'm giving you credit. He had a fantastic game. He was dropping balls that looked great.
He set an NFL record for completion percentage, didn't he?
Yeah, like 84%.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's incredible. And I was ragging on him. I admit it. I own it. I was ragging on him in the preseason before we got started. But my issue with him is just he gets hurt and he doesn't make it.
Yeah, he didn't get hurt last year, I don't think. But really, the conversation was brought up not as a promotion to pick up Sam Bradford for your fantasy team, but it really like the Kyle Rudolph discussion is what started it because we were talking about Kyle Rudolph and Stephon Diggs. I'll get to him in a minute, just as being good fantasy options and part of my argument for that was that they have a good QB at the helm. So, yeah, I'm not rushing out right now to grab Sam Bradford for my team, but it bodes well for Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph, and Adam Thielen owners. So
let me ask you guys this. Outside of David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell, who was the biggest disappointment on Sunday? I'll start with you, Sam. Who was your biggest disappointment on Sunday?
Well, he got a touchdown, but after that, it looked scary. But honestly, I thought Amari Cooper was going to put up some more points than that. Bill and I were sitting right next to each other, and we were watching him, and he just 3 attempts, and they couldn't complete the deal.
Three in a row. That's the only part of that game I was able to watch, and I was holding my breath the whole time as a Titans fan. I can't believe that he couldn't catch one of those 3. It looks like he's having the same problems as last year. He was unable to haul in those red zone targets last year. That's why Michael Crabtree outscored him in fantasy production.
Yeah, he concerns me, but he wasn't a huge disappointment. I mean, I was fairly, the David Johnson thing. I mean, how can I not? I mean, I draft the fucking guy, and I have to do
That's a heartbreaker. That's a heartbreaker.
Shit, but yeah.
Now, so he finished with 14.7 points. You're talking to Amari Cooper, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, okay, yes, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but holy shit, Derek Carr targeted him 12 times. That is so encouraging. Like, he's going to have games like that where based on whether it's coverage or just he has a couple of ugly drops, but he's already proven himself talent-wise. And if Derek Carr's going to target
drops in a row,
12, that shit can happen. I mean, we talked about this last week, Maya. Not overreacting after a week 1 performance, one way or the other, good or bad. Like you can't do that.
But
I just recorded Bill saying that over Sam Bradford, so I'll play that again.
It's not just the week 1 performance though. I mean, this is just continuing on from last year. Like he had these exact same issues last year. He doesn't look any different than he did last year. That's my point with Amari.
He did get that first touchdown, and I was impressed with that because I think last year he would have dropped. He was able to, I think, because of the muscle he put on, he was able to push that pile into the end zone. I'm just saying, I look at my team, and the biggest, you asked the question, the disappointment was David Johnson, but you asked outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
My Doug Baldwin thing. I mean, I think Doug Baldwin's going to have a good season. I really worry about though that offensive line, and they were playing the Packers, and Russell Wilson was just fucking, man. He was just instantly getting chased as soon as the ball was snapped. So that worries me.
I think that offensive line issue in Seattle's drastically underplayed because Green Bay is not known for their pass rush anymore. You know what I mean? They're aging up front. I mean, Clay Matthews ain't the player he used to be. You know what I mean? And for them to be able to get after Russell Wilson the way that they did, I think that spells trouble for Seattle. I think they still make the playoffs just because they're in a super weak division. But I'd have a hard time starting any Seahawks this year. What about you, Bill? What was your biggest disappointment from week 1?
None of my receivers really got going. I mean, I'm relying on T.Y. Hilton, Kelvin Benjamin, and Dez Bryant. Now, there's some circumstances, so I'm still holding out hope. For instance, T.Y. Hilton doesn't have Andrew Luck yet. I don't even know if he will at this point. But I like Jacoby Brissett more than I do Scott Tolzien for my fantasy purposes. And then Dez Bryant, he was obviously up against a really tough secondary. Janoris Jenkins was covering him quite a bit. So, and then he's got Denver this week. So I don't think I'll really know what I've got with Dez Bryant until probably week 3 or 4. So you know what I mean. I just underperformed there. I still won all my matchups, which I'm happy with, but I just didn't really get anything going on the receiver.
Yeah, he did put up 7 points, but my biggest disappointment from week 1 was Michael Thomas. I was really expecting him to exploit the underneath routes against Minnesota, and I don't know. Like I said, I didn't catch much of that game, but I don't know if it was more on Drew Brees or if it was more on Michael Thomas. But I really expected more out of him week 1 and didn't get it, and it was a little disappointing.
Oh shit! Of course, I just had a brain fart. was going to ask you something. Just go on. I forgot it.
All right. What was your biggest surprises from week 1, Sam?
Austin Hooper.
Okay, outside of Austin Hooper.
No, honestly, Dalvin Cook played better than I thought he would. I mean, and with David Johnson going down, he's now going to be him and Leonard Fournette are going to be my workhorse running backs. I was pleasantly surprised with both of those rookies, but Dalvin Cook actually played pretty good. I was pretty happy with him.
I'd have to say mine was Kareem Hunt. I mean, after fumbling your first NFL snap and then to come out and set an NFL rookie record for yards from scrimmage, that's a hell of a bounce back. He looks like the real deal to me. I'd say that was my biggest surprise, especially on a Thursday night AIDS, as we call it, because the Thursday night games are garbage.
I'm shocked. I don't. That wasn't a surprise to me at all. Was 250 yards and 3 TDs a surprise? Sure, but I think we knew about the talent. I mean, he was already – when you have a rookie threatening to take over the veteran's job, and Spencer Ware is not old, you know what I mean? You know that bodes well for his talent. And if anyone's been paying attention for the last 7 or 8 years or whatever, then you know a workhorse back in an Andy Reid offense is going to get a ridiculous amount of work. So if you mix talent
after dark. Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
If you're going to mix the talent with the opportunity, I'm not surprised. And you guys remember, you backed me up on this, before he even exploded, but Mike Gillislee had pulled in those touchdowns. I said, yeah, he's getting the goal line work, but Kareem Hunt looks like the stud. And then he had like a 60-yard TD right after that.
I just seen Lori's comment, Carson Palmer's 3 interceptions. Yeah, that one caught me off guard too. I actually started him because I got Andrew Luck on the bench. And that was a huge disappointment. What else do we got in the chat?
Hey, Jackpots. How's it going, brother?
What's up, Jackpot? When you're weak, he won a lot of people their week.
Becca says 94-year-old grandma loves football. That's amazing.
Well, we're looking to expand to 10 teams, so she's into fantasy football. Have her hit us up. Anything you guys want to add before we get into this week's picks?
Yeah, let's throw down a board bet. We got to keep track of these.
Oh, fuck. Who's in charge of that?
I guess I am.
All right. Sam, you're in charge of the board bets.
I'm the fucking finance guy in this league.
You are. You're fucking... Sure. Sam, you set up an Excel spreadsheet. Because I'm going to challenge Maya. He seems really concerned with Amari Cooper, and I'm telling you, Amari Cooper is going to finish top 10 wide receiver in fantasy. So, Maya.
Top 10?
Put your money where your mouth is, bud.
Top 10?
Yep. The caveat is he's got to play at least 15 games.
Top 10 out of 15 games. Let me take a look.
What do you mean? You seem really concerned with him. Just put up some money and let's move on.
I don't know.
There's
a difference between finishing top 10 and not living up to your full potential. You know what I mean? Like, what did he finish last year? 18th? Crabtree finished 15th?
Something like that in the teens.
Yeah, right now he's 12 with that garbage game. I mean, yeah, he can finish top 10.
Top 10,
won't be pretty.
That's a wide receiver one. You can't. It's hard for me to understand being concerned with someone, but also conceding that they'll be a top 10 at their position. Like,
just because they're top 10 doesn't mean that you gotta like it. Like, yeah,
oh my God.
He finished 12th last week. He should have finished first. I mean, he should have had at least 2 touchdowns, if not more. You know what I mean? I mean, for his volume, he should do a lot more with it. That's what I'm trying to say.
He'll get 2 touchdowns this week because I'm playing Maya in our big money league. So that's
I know. That's exactly how this shit.
I like this. Goes. Keep talking. Keep going. Oh my guys. Good.
Fuck. Who's he playing? The Jets? Of course he's going to get 2 touchdowns this week. I could score 2 touchdowns on the Jets.
All right. Well, I guess we got no bet then.
I heard him say 100, so I wrote that down for you.
Who put Sam in charge?
Hey, all the people in the chat heard you say $100 bet, so it's booked, baby.
All right. Yeah, let's run that back.
Anytime I see a talented receiver getting 10-plus targets in a game, my mouth freaking gets juicy. And my Johnson gets erect because it's all, I mean, you got to, when you can, and I said this already, broken record, but when you can combine talent with opportunity, oh my God. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah. That's how DeAndre Hopkins is making me feel with his 51% target share in that Texans offense. Now, if he could catch a ball.
It's insane. That's why I hit you up for him.
I know it is, and that's exactly why I declined and failed the counter.
The downside is Amari Cooper has Derek Carr throwing to him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's tough. I'm curious to see what Mike Evans' usage looks like on Sunday with the addition of Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, I'm itching to see the Bucs. I was really disappointed to see their game canceled week 1. I'm itching to see the Bucs.
Looks like Ashley joined.
That's a good comment.
Did you see that comment?
I was telling you guys about this earlier. Ashley said, late to this chat, I went back and watched a little bit of Bill's chat from last night. Sorry, guys, not related to this channel, but real quick. Hate to see you frustrated, Bill, but understandable. Poor Nick, LOL. Can't talk football much. I'm a Browns fan. You know what? Things are looking up for the Browns. They held themselves pretty well in that Pittsburgh game. I mean, when you have a divisional opponent like the Steelers come into your house and they only beat you by 3 points, I mean, right now they're feeling like they found their franchise QB. They've made good moves over the last couple of drafts and free agency. So I think they're headed in the right direction, and within a couple of years, they actually could be relevant.
All they're missing is that one big wide receiver one. That's all they're missing is that top-notch wide receiver talent, and I think they'd be a true contender in that division.
Well, Josh Gordon just wiped the nose candy off his nose. He's ready to come back, baby.
He's all juiced up like John Bones Jones.
Yeah.
Fucking. How am I supposed to drive drunk with no cocaine? Fucking.
Yeah. Go ahead. Jackpots After Dark made a comment. I think I want to put it on its T-shirt worthy. It says Bill with the juicy mouth. I'm going to put that on a T-shirt. I think Bill's going to have to wear that around.
All right. Whatever. I'll wear it to Sundays. You guys want to real quick get into some game picks for Sunday?
Yep, sure do.
Monday? Let's just blast through these, Maya. Why don't you just take us through game by game?
All right, let me pull it up. I had the news tab up. And my $11 fucking Wi-Fi at the hotel is slow as shit now.
Or I can do it. I got it right here.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
All right, first game. Let's go in order here. Sam first, Maya second, and I'll close off each game. First one, Cleveland at Baltimore. Give me a pick.
Baltimore.
Let's move on. Their defense looked ridiculous. They pitched a shutout. They're at home. Buffalo at Carolina.
Ooh, I think Carolina will win.
Carolina.
I'm going to go Carolina too, but I think Buffalo could get frisky with it. They looked better than we expected. Let's move on. Cardinals at Colts. Tough game.
Cardinals bounce back.
Cardinals.
J.J. Nelson scores a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, both teams looked like garbage last week, but I will give the edge to Arizona.
Carson Palmer, top 5 fantasy quarterback this week.
Yeah, it could be. He'll be throwing a lot, I'm sure. Tennessee at Jacksonville. Another tough one.
I think the Titans win that one.
Titans.
Yeah, you know what? I took Tennessee in my picks. We'll have to see if that was an aberration with that Jacksonville D or if it was legit, and I think we'll have a much better idea after this week. But so far, it looked good. I mean, 10 sacks in one game. I don't care who you're playing. That's fucking ridiculous.
Houston's got a garbage O-line, though. Tennessee's got top-notch. They won't get that kind of pass rush this week.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we say that because they were ranked that way, but there was no fucking run game last week. What the hell happened there? I mean, you guys, I'm rooting for you, but You guys could not get that run game.
I don't know what the hell happened last week.
Hey, real quick, we got another shout out in the chat to Tiffany Williams. It's in there.
Hey, what's up, Tiff?
Yeah.
Kareem Cunts.
Kareem Cunts. That's hilarious.
Oh boy.
Oh, fucking Casey. Oh man. Oh shit. Watch that boy's team, man.
Yeah, dude, his running back core is fucking sick now, especially if the NFL loses this appeal.
Yeah, he's looking hot, man. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, Bill. On to the game we want to talk about.
You got it. Eagles at Chiefs.
You know what? I'm gonna roll with the Eagles on this one. I think the Eagles can pull it off.
Go ahead, Maya. I know what you got to do.
I know. I don't want to pick the Eagles, but I'm going to pick the Eagles. Just losing Eric Berry is a huge loss for Kansas City's defense, and Carson Wentz is looking sharp. So, yeah, I picked the Eagles.
Yeah, you know what? I thought I was going to have the hero pick here, but I've really been thinking about this, and I'll probably look so stupid come Monday, but I think the Eagles are going to surprise some people, especially the way KC just fucking smacked the Patriots. The Eagles have a lot going. Now, look, they really don't have anything at corner, but that pass rush is going to be so intense. I don't think Alex Smith is going to be able to – he's going to have time to go deep like that. He's going to have to get things done, within 20 yards. And
is Tyreek Hill is Hill okay? I haven't checked his status.
Yeah, he's fine. They'll be fully loaded on offense. They're missing Eric Berry. We have a lot of offensive weapons too. So I actually, even with great defenses, I think this will be like a 28-24 type game. And I think the Eagles might actually pull it out against their old coach. So we got a sweep there on Philly. Patriots at Saints.
I'm going to be an asshole and say the Saints.
Oh, my God. I was going to be the asshole.
Just because I can't fucking stand the Patriots.
You know what? Drew Brees can throw the deep ball, and Alex Smith showed the Patriots' weakness in their defense, just bombing it deep. They couldn't cover. I think the Saints win this game. I think the Pats start 0-2.
Okay. I'm going to actually give it to the Pats, and I'll tell you why. I know Drew Brees at home, amazing. Brandon Cooks time. He wants to show up his old team, and Tom Brady doesn't lose 2 games in a row until he does, and he hasn't. So I'm going to stick with what happens until it doesn't happen, and I'm going to give it to New England. We got Vikings at Pitt. Great game.
That is a great game.
That one's hard, man. That one's hard. I think I'm going to go with Steelers on that because they're at home, and I think Roethlisberger shows up, and it's when he comes to play, and I think Martavis Bryant's going to have a couple of touchdowns.
They ain't going to Martavis. You know what? Martavis can have a couple, but Antonio Brown will have a couple more. I also picked the Steelers. We got to disagree at some point here, but I like the Steelers at home.
Yeah, I think when the teams are so close, I'm going to give it to the home team. So easy Steelers pick for me, but Minnesota could do it. Bears at Buccaneers.
Well, it's time for the Bucs to come off the hard knocks and show what they got. I think they're going to. And I think Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans, I'm excited to see what they can do with Jameis Winston, so I think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to take the Bears. The Bears gave Atlanta a run for their money last week. Tampa Bay's first-team offense hasn't played since week 3 of the preseason. They've had something like 24 days off. I see some rest, so I'm going to take the Bears on this one.
Yeah, I could see it. I think Chicago surprised people how competitive they actually were. We really expected them to look like an 0-16 type team, and I can see them winning 4 or 5 games this year. And this is the type of game they could win, just based on your reasoning, Maya. However, there's just so many weapons on Tampa Bay, and they're at home. I'm going to give it to Tampa Bay this one, but we'll see. Dolphins at Chargers.
Well, I think the Chargers, last I saw, they were having a hard time giving their tickets away at the Maverick. I'm not kidding. They were like, I think they had them out at the Maverick you could just grab one for free. I think they get a win here, though. I think they're going to win at home. Keenan Allen has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, fucking A. StubHub Stadium seats like 27,000 people, and they can't sell out. They're an NFL team, but yeah, I see them getting the win this week. Same reason that I see the Bucs losing. I think Miami's got some rust, and I think Jay Cutler will turn into his old turnover self.
Okay. It's funny, they moved 2 franchises to LA, and the NFL is so concerned about revenue, and they can't even fill these goddamn stadiums. I mean,
it's crazy.
They should have never let the Chargers leave San Diego. That was a bonehead move. I understand they needed a new stadium. They could have figured something out. They should have never let them leave.
okay, I think this is a sneaky great game, but LA's at home. They've got a great defense, and Phillip Rivers has weapons, and Melvin Gordon's good. I think the talent is just – there's more talent on the Chargers. Even though I like a lot of what Miami can do, I'm going to give it to the Chargers.
Melvin Gordon, 2 touchdowns.
Don't be stealing my line, fool. Don't be stealing my line.
It ain't copyrighted.
No.
Should have copyrighted that shit.
This should be an absolute fucking massacre. Jets at Raiders.
Oh, fuck.
Well, Amari Cooper will have 2 touchdowns. So, Raiders all the way.
Yeah, everyone on the Raiders is going to have 2 touchdowns. Fucking Jets can't stop a leaky faucet. Fucking Raiders.
I'm going to give you this one, Sam. Amari Cooper is going to have 3 TDs.
Oh,
and Marshawn Lynch is going to rush for over 120 yards and have a TD.
Yeah. I love that.
You heard it here first. I
tell you, if he gets 3 touchdowns, I'm going to get onto that pristine auctions and buy his autographed jersey.
There you go.
Snap Melvin Gordon's off it.
And then we can talk all next week's show about how Maya's deeply concerned about Amari Cooper. All right, let's go.
You can't be concerned about anyone. Watch him drop 3 fucking touchdown passes in a row against the Jets.
Oakland wins. There are so many awesome games this week. I can't believe I'm working Sunday.
I know, me neither.
Cowboys at Denver. Holy shit.
Oh, I can't wait for this game.
Wow. That's a tough one for me. I think the Cowboys will end up winning, but I could go either way. But I think the Cowboys will end up winning this game.
I'm going to take Denver on this one. C.J. Anderson looked awesome last week. Didn't produce a whole lot, but he looked in good form. Cowboys secondary can't stop anybody, and Trevor Siemian seemed on point. You know, I think a big game for Demaryius Thomas, not just because he's on my fantasy team, but yeah, I think Dallas gets exploited. I'd take Denver.
I'm going to take Denver too. I mean, they faced a much tougher defense in San Diego. Excuse me, LA Chargers.
You said tit.
Yep.
You said tit.
LA Chargers, they faced a much tougher defense than Dallas. Even though Dallas can really move the ball well, I think Denver D is just going to be enough to make it difficult. So I'm going to give it to the home team, Denver. Little kind of revenge tour, I guess. Well, maybe not, but you know that the Chargers, excuse me, Jesus H. Christ. You know the Rams coach wants to show his old team Washington a little something, and he's at home. So give me some Redskins at Rams.
Redskins, take it.
Rams for sure. Redskins looked atrocious on offense last year. Aaron Donald's back for the Rams this week. I think Todd Gurley's his normal self, but Cooper Kupp goes off again. He'll be in my starting lineup week 3. Bet.
Yeah, this would have been totally different last year, but I'm with you. I'm taking the Rams all day. I know that the Colts are trash, but still, you can't deny the Rams looked really good on defense, and now they're getting Aaron Donald back. And Washington just didn't have it together, and now they got to go on the road. I mean, if they struggled so much at home, you know, how are they going to go cross country?
It's week 1. That was week 1, though. I'm going to quote you again, and you can't really draw much conclusions from week 1. I think the Redskins still take it.
I don't know, though. The Rams couldn't seem to score more than 12 points last season and put up 40-plus points, even on a garbage Colts defense.
The three of us could have put up fucking points against the Colts, dude. It's not. They are improved. Okay. I give you that. They are improved. They look good, and I get that the head coach, he's definitely better than Jeff Fisher. He definitely is running it better, but I still think Redskins take it. So.
Jared Goff was the #1 overall pick for a reason. The kid's got talent. They believe him. I think the new head coach can use him better than fucking Jeff Fisher could any day. I think the Rams are on the way up. I think they're trending the same way as the Browns.
Don't give me the #1 pick for a reason bullshit. We want to go back and start going back and #1 picks for a reason and see how they panned out. I mean, that's not a good enough reason why he's good there. And by the way, Olga, I'm writing all this shit down because I happen to be the finance guy and the bookie of this week. So I'm writing all these
Sam's good with numbers.
Down.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I didn't say we can't draw any conclusions. I just said, don't overreact. And I'm not overreacting, but you can still tell. I mean, one offense wasn't gelling at all, and another team just dominated the entire game. It's one thing to struggle on the road. It's another to struggle at home against a division rival. And Washington just did not look good. So until they show me I'm wrong, I'm going to go with the hot hand there with LA at home.
Yeah, they were playing the Eagles defense, which is also a really top-end defense. So, I mean, I think it's
they lost Ronald Darby. But they lost Ronald Darby. Like, one of the additions that made them a top defense and a top secondary, they lost. Like,
why am I even arguing
for
the Redskins? I could give a fuck less about them. I just want to be the argument guy. and then the chance that they end up winning, I just tell you two fucks that I called it. So there we go.
It's the Arab in you.
It is.
It's the Arab in you.
All right. Niners are going to Seattle. I mean, even though I thought the Niners brought something, this should be a massacre. Why don't you give it to me, Sam?
Yeah, I agree. Seattle all the way.
I don't agree with a massacre, but yeah, they'll get the W.
Yeah, Seattle's just one of those teams. I mean, they're playing San Francisco. They're at home. I mean, I don't favor anyone in Seattle over Seattle. I don't care who it is. I'm always picking Seattle when they're at home.
But it's kind of different now. The Legion of Boom's not what it was. Richard Sherman's a game-time decision. Like I said earlier, that O-line's trash. They don't have a running game anymore. You know what I mean? It's Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin. And if they key in on Doug Baldwin, I could see a low-scoring game. Seahawks winning by 3, 6, 7. I don't think it'll be a massacre, but I think they get the W.
They'll win by double digits. Book it, write it down, Sam. Let's move on. Big game. Holy shit, this is amazing. Green Bay at Atlanta. Is this a replay of the NFC Championship?
Game of the week.
It is. And first of all, Olga wants to know if me and Bill are related. We are. I'm his daddy. So that's how that works. We are related. Yeah. This one I've been looking forward to. Maya and I tried to work it out early. As soon as the schedule got released, we were going to try and make it to the game. Things didn't work out, so obviously I'll be watching it from my house. But you know where I'm going to go with this. Falcons, it's going to be a burner, though. I mean, the Falcons this year are just going to be every game, no matter who they're playing, really is going to be kind of a nail-biter, and that's just who I root for. But I'm going to go with Falcons in a close one on this.
I'm gonna pick Green Bay to be the party spoiler in the Falcons' new stadium, unless Atlanta can come up with some more creative play calling. The play calling from last week from the highlights I seen dismal when you're playing the Bears. I like Green Bay in this one. I think they go in and spoil it.
Just want to add to your point, Sam. I think Maya will know what I'm talking about here, but you and I are related. We're what's known as Eskimo brothers.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Fucking taco. EBB, B&B, is that what that was?
Oh, my God. Yeah. That's funny.
Anyway, EBDB, B&B.
Yep, that's what I was looking for.
Eskimo Brothers database, bed and breakfast.
And it goes in Tampico. Serving it for breakfast.
That was awesome.
Sam, I want to preface this by saying I'm rooting for your team, but I'm just going with what I saw. Green Bay had it way more together in week 1, so I'm gonna think, and they want revenge against your team for fucking getting smacked on the national stage last year. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Green Bay, but I expect a good game here. I think Green Bay pulls it out by 3. Let's move on here to the Lions at Giants. What a shit show.
No.
Oh shit. I say the Lions take this one.
You know what? I don't fucking know. I don't know. The Giants should win it, but for some reason, I think Stafford's the truth this year. He got that big fat ass contract. Wants to go out and prove he's worth it. Yeah, I take the Lions in this one too. No running game for the Lions though. It's all through the air. Stafford 400 yards.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, Eli just looked like shit. Where it sounds like Odell Beckham is not 100%. It seems like one of those things where if he plays, he'll be a placeholder, like they used to do with Calvin Johnson all the time. You know what I mean? And Eli just looked like shit. No run game going. So,
Amir Abdullah was hot garbage. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I gotta say real quick to the chat to Tiffany Williams. I'm the only fuck that gave Cowboys some love. Then it comes to my team and everybody's yelling Packers and you're going right there and then you say some funny shit like "so silly, Sammy." There's an inside joke with that. Maybe what I'll do is maybe next time we'll get the picture of what. So we always, I happen to be the league graphic designer years ago, and I started making everybody logos, and I like to pretty much make fun of everybody in some way, and I did something of Casey, and so Casey went into Microsoft fucking Paint and did some picture of me and Bill and made it so silly. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Just to let you guys know, this show is the escalation of the Photoshop trolls that we've been doing for years and years and years. We finally just got to the point where like, fuck it, let's start a YouTube channel and just trash the league as the ultimate troll, and that's how this started. But yeah, we got some pretty funny shit in the NSFW database. We'll pull out as we get a little bigger for entertainment purposes.
Yo Teddy says Eli always looks like he's on the verge of nervous breakdown. He looks like he's going to shit his pants every time I see him. Man. He looks like he's got. He reminds me of Mike Smith, the head coach of the Falcons back here. He looks like he's got IBS.
Yep, he looks like he's going to drop a deuce.
Poor bastard.
Kind of an anticlimactic ending to the week. I think the Sunday night game is really the cream of the crop. I cannot freaking wait for that game. And I'll be able to watch that. I'll be home in time, so I'm excited. Maybe we should do something for that game, Sam.
Hell yeah, we should. Hell yeah.
I'm in. What else are we going to talk about here, Maya? Before we call it a night here, you want to talk about some boom bust or what?
Sure. I got a couple that I'm. This week's boom for me. Where'd he go? Shit, I had it all queued up. Now it's all gone. Go ahead, go first, Bill.
I will
pull this shit up.
I think after a slow start, Le'Veon Bell's going to come out firing on all cylinders, and he's going to get his 25-plus touches on the ball through the air, on the ground, and he's going to put up a stud fantasy performance. So lock in Le'Veon Bell anywhere you can.
He's your boom?
He is my boom.
You want to go, Sam, or you want me to go?
I want you to go.
All right, 2 weeks in a row. Fucking Michael Thomas. Like I said, Green Bay not Green Bay. New England got exposed last week. I think Drew Brees at home does the same thing. I think holy shit, I need to slow down on the beer. Michael Thomas has an excellent game this week. He's my boom.
You know what's crazy is you're sitting here talking about how you're concerned about Amari Cooper. Michael Thomas got drafted ahead of Amari Cooper, for Christ's sake. That's where your concern should be, bud.
He's Captain fucking consistent. That's for sure.
I don't have to be concerned with Michael Thomas. I got Antonio Brown. Michael Thomas is my wide receiver too, no matter where I drafted him.
Well, I got my boom. I think my boom, and I hate to say it, but it's going to be Ty Montgomery. Falcons can't defend the run. And he's very talented. He can catch the ball. I think he's gonna have a big fucking game this week against the Falcons. That's why, like I said, I picked the Falcons to win, but it's gonna be close, and he's gonna be a big part of that.
That's a good boom. I like that one. How about busts, Bill? Who's your bust this week?
I want to add to Sam. That's a good pick, Sam. Ty Montgomery's juicy. He looked good. He's going to get the usage. He kind of looks like a Le'Veon Bell mini type. Like,
Yep.
not as much talent, but a good solid runner. Found some holes, did some damage on the ground. He's got good yards after contact, and then he can catch balls. And he's got a real good rapport with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's just dangerous, especially when you're dealing with a QB like Aaron Rodgers. He might be the steal of the draft. Just real quick, let's talk about busts. Oh God,
I've got one.
I'm worried for DeMarco Murray this week, to be honest with you.
Damn it. That's about where I was going to go.
I mean, if he couldn't get it done against Oakland, now he's going up against that sick freaking defensive line in Jacksonville. Yeah. They better figure that out.
He wasn't mine, but I totally agree. I'm concerned with DeMarco Murray.
I got Isaiah Crowell. I think it's a bad matchup for him, and
absolutely,
I think he's going to bust. Which sucks because I need him because he's in my other league, and I think long term I think he's still going to be fine. I think he's going to be a pretty good serviceable back, but yeah, it's a bad week.
You know, people can say about Baltimore Ravens defense. People can say, "Oh yeah, well they were just playing." You know, they were playing Cincinnati, and Cincinnati sucks. Anytime a defense allows 0 points, you got to consider them legit. So I agree with you there. It's going to be tough sledding for Isaiah Crowell. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, you guys ready for this? My big bust of the week is Kareem Hunt.
Interesting.
The Eagles' rush defense, I think, is underrated. I don't think they get the respect they deserve. And I think Kansas City's going to be in a shootout. I mean, Philly's going to get up on them early, and Alex Smith is going to have to sling the rock all over the place, and I don't think Kareem Hunt gets the touches that he got last week. So, yeah, I see Kareem Hunt as a big bust this week, less than 10 fantasy points.
I don't know if it'll be quite that bad, but I can see how just with game script and that front seven that he's up against, people that are expecting a 30-point game from him are probably going to be disappointed. I think 10 to 15 is way more likely. He'll probably find the end zone at least once and then pile up some yards through different ways, but it's not going to be the explosion that everyone's expecting after last week. Let me just talk daily fantasy real quick, since we do that between the three of us. I have a lot of DraftKings lineups going. And one value pick that I saw that I'm going to share, if you're setting any lineups, on the real cheap is Torrey Smith. He's cost $3,600 this week. You got to figure Marcus Peters is going to be lining up with Alshon Jeffrey a lot. And it looked like Nelson Aguilar, kind of the number 2 option, got a good rapport going with Carson Wentz. You got to figure Philly's going to be throwing for their life, because I do think KC will end up ahead at some point in that game. And with Marcus Peters on top of Alshon Jeffrey, you know, totally boom or bust, but you could definitely see some deep balls flying Torrey Smith's way. And he'll be running some go routes and things like that. So for $3,600, I put him in a few of my lineups just because it's a nice cheap filler, and if it hits, not a lot of people are going to have him. So take a look-see. Also, Le'Veon Bell is super expensive, but I think worth it because he's ready to come out and ball, and they're gonna put him to work. Any final thoughts? Anything else we need to cover, gentlemen?
Just looking forward to this Sunday, getting my second win in a row, beating Sam once and for all, starting 2-0, and owning first place all to myself. My 4 wide receivers are just gonna do work on your face, man.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll see. I doubt it. I don't think so. I'm going to fucking keep the streak going. I'm whooping your ass this week. And then Bill will come over for the nightcap and watch the Falcons win. So I'm looking forward to some ball.
It's going to be good. Oh, look, Casey Jones there. He just writes Cowboys. Excellent.
We know, Casey. We know.
So silly, Casey. So silly, Casey.
Yeah, take care of yourself and each other.
Get ready to suck some deck.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap it up. But
thank everybody. We had a lot of viewers from my personal channel come over and join us. I really appreciate you guys. It makes it so much more fun.
It's so much more fun. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for getting to know us. We really enjoy this. So like I tell you every time, make us famous. I want to quit this fucking job. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can find us on Facebook. You can also email at ffnsfw@gmail.com. Hit us up with your lineups and your questions, and maybe we'll get it on the next show. Tuesdays, Fridays. We'll see you guys later.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.